Oh no, Penny. What is it? What now? Hello Chaotix, welcome to part 2 of my office decluttering saga. In part 1, I started a new fishbowl of decluttering zones for my absolute disaster area of an office because I need games to trick myself into organizing my house. After the first episode, it was starting to feel a little less chaotic. At least I got a good start on things. But if you've been following the posts on my channel, you know that between these 2 episodes, we found a literal rat in our kitchen. We thought it was a mouse at first because we didn't know any better, but no, it was a juvenile rat and it had friends living in the walls. We thought it went into a hole behind our fridge, which we found when we pulled the fridge out, when we found the rat. We sealed it up with rags and duct tape, but then that first night, our cats brought the rat into our bedroom at 5 a.m. and a nightmare fuel chain of events followed. But if you didn't see the live rat chat that Blake and I had describing the sequence of events that night, I encourage you to watch the replay of that, because if so much more terror hadn't happened since then, I would still think it's super funny, and you will probably think it's a pretty funny story too. But over the course of the last month or so, things have gone from bad to worse. We had to flee our apartment and life felt very out of control, which you will see later in this very video, because it spans that first week or two as we realized the exterminator's traps weren't helping and the rats were spreading to other parts of the apartment. Right around the time when we did our live rat chat show, it was the first few days after finding the rat, and I went into a decluttering, cleaning frenzy, possibly a manic state, as a reaction to the fact that my kitchen and walls had at least one, maybe many rats in them. But I definitely went on a decluttering tear through the house. This included my kids' toy closet, which I didn't film us cleaning out, but they donated a huge pile of toys, and Brody decided to give his entire dinosaur collection to his younger cousins, which was so sweet of him. And it also opened up a massive amount of room in that closet. My goal was to be able to see as many of the perimeters of the rooms as possible, so we could always know if there were any critters creeping around, and I wanted the floors cleared off as much as possible. I didn't want just a lot of piles of things sitting around, and obviously my office is the worst place for this. So I decided to cheat a little bit with my fishbowl. This area is underneath my desk, and it is one of the locations in the fishbowl, but I just felt like waiting before dealing with this area was tempting fate, and who knew when I would pull that ticket and clean this all out. Under here is mostly shipping boxes, and the vast majority of them were the free priority mailboxes that you can get from the post office, which I rarely use anymore, and they will take them back. So I dragged them all out, and Blake took them back to the post office, which they were happy to take them back, and now I'm not hoarding useless cardboard anymore, which was totally just rat nesting material. Thankfully, through this whole ordeal, the rats never got into this room. I'm glad that I cleaned it all out just in case, but more glad that they never went in there at all.
Get it, Max. Get it. Don't worry, everyone. I know it's a daddy long legs. I saw it already under there, and I put Max in there to deal with it. It's nothing mouse-like. You getting the bug? Good boy, Max. Get it. Get it, Maxie. I love cats. I freaking love cats.
So yeah, I did cheat a little bit by cherry picking a specific number, but hopefully you understand given the circumstances. Now we're back to doing it right, doing it the real way. I pulled out number 2, which is to clear off my computer desk, which is great because that was the desk that I just was cleaning underneath. The reason clearing off my desk was such an important piece to this office decluttering is because, for one thing, I had not used that computer in minimum over a year. The computer is so old that it no longer supports the newest version of Adobe Creative Suite, which is Premiere Pro, which I do my editing on, and all of the programs that I use on the computer. I could not put the newest, latest, most recent version on that computer anymore because it's so old. So I switched to a laptop, and I just haven't been sitting at my desk, and it's just been collecting junk, as you can see. Pause to point out this smashed cell phone. Does anybody else hold on to these like old electronics that are useless? I definitely need to do a big electronics declutter. I've got a lot of stuff that can be minimized and gotten rid of and put into recycling. I don't even know what we do with all of this. I did end up using my computer, but it's basically just for the internet now. That's pretty much all I use it for. I actually kind of use it more like a TV to watch YouTube videos on while I'm in the office. But the big thing that we're doing here is Blake and I are switching sides. So my desk is now going to be the one to the left over by the closet, because I'm going to start utilizing the closet for a shipping station for my reselling business eventually. And so we're moving Blake over here. Also, you can see that there's a lot of stuff shoved underneath the desk again, even though I just cleared it out. I had just temporarily slid that underneath there. That stuff goes underneath the middle desk, the center desk, but I was getting it out of the way for now because when you start one of these projects, everything kind of explodes everywhere, and I needed to be able to move around. So I just shoved it under there for now, but it doesn't stay under there. Don't worry. So yeah, Blake and I are going to be switching desks, which is the main point of this part of the decluttering.
Thank you, Mr. Inspector. Maxie? Maxwell? Max? What are you doing? You're so big. You're such a big guy. Yeah. You approve? Okay.
I think Max was looking for rats, but he approves, so we can clear off the computer desk, and now that means Blake can start putting together the drawers that are going to go underneath the desks. You saw that I bought one of these Alex drawer unit things for underneath the center desk in the office already, but we got two more to be as basically like legs on one side of each desk. We're just redoing the whole shebang. Now I had to clear out room to be able to pull those drawers into the office and get them underneath the desks. We basically had to take the desks completely apart on one side and take the legs off. So the whole floor needed to be cleared out. You know, it's one of those things. It's a chain reaction. One thing leads to another, and the mess just like exploded all over the place. But in the end, it was worth all of the effort. The end result was really, really good. But a lot of what I'm doing right now is just shuffling things from one spot to another, and even the stuff that was on top of my desk, I pretty much just put it into banker boxes, and it was just one more thing to stack up on the other side of the room. But we get there in the end. There's some shuffling that needs to happen first, but stick with me. Trust me, we get there in the end. Now you can see the new set of drawers have been installed on both desks. They look fantastic. My favorite dusty blue color. It just looks fantastic. So now I am loading some of the things back onto my desk. I ended up just packing it full again in the end, but for now I was just putting some of my shipping apparati
my shipping utensils, I don't know, shipping things on there, like the label maker and my scale and the shipping tape and yada yada, etc., etc. I also put a little bit of decor and canisters and things, but then I am going to start loading up the drawers, which was the biggest helpful thing here in this whole declutter, because on the top of my desk I had lots of pens and pencils and highlighters and all of this stuff. It was all just on top of my desk. I didn't have any drawers. And really, when it comes to an office, you just need drawers. You just do. And I'm probably a little bit of like a pen, pencil, marker, office supply kind of hoarder, and I will fully admit that, but it's one of those things that I just absolutely love and I can't stop buying. So I really needed to have a nice set of drawers. I also reevaluated some of the things that I had put in the bigger set of drawers that I got for that center table. So I did a little bit of shuffling and rearranging of stuff, and as of now, way after the fact, everything's functioning really, really well. In fact, I'm probably due for another sort of round of decluttering inside those drawers because they are getting a little messy, but organizationally, it's been a dream to have so many drawers. I don't know why I was resistant to drawers in the first place. How many times can I say the word drawers? Now that all of that mess was over with, it's time to draw another number from the fishbowl. This time we got number 4, which is my shipping stuffing mountain. That's this area right here, and it has grown because there's a lot of other stuff in front of it. But the shipping stuffing in particular are these bags of old shipping material, like used shipping material, things that came in Amazon packages. There was some old bubble wrap, there was some old newspaper, there was all sorts of stuff in these bags. There was even some of it inside of the closet, and frankly, this is stuff that I was just never going to use. I have changed what I put in my packages to just brand new, unused newsprint type paper that doesn't have any ink on it, unprinted newsprint. Yes, I still use bubble wrap, but the majority of it is brand new bubble wrap because you don't want to use old bubble wrap because then a lot of it's popped and stuff. So I'm just reevaluating everything in this area and throwing away most of it. And it's something that was long overdue because this has been like this for literally years. And inside of that blue recycling trash can is actually filled almost to the brim with shredded cardboard. And that was just another whole mistake. It was hours of shredding packages, cardboard packages that were not good anymore to be used as like boxes, or it was like cereal boxes and stuff like that. Well, turns out people just don't like having that in their packages. It had too much dust and it was just annoying for a lot of people. To me, I thought it was a great, ingenious way to recycle and reuse, but nope, it was too annoying for people. People also don't like the biodegradable packing peanuts. So, c'est la vie. I do eventually throw away all of the stuff inside of that blue trash can. So we can cross off number 4. We are really making progress on this list here, and we can draw a new number. This time it was number 15, which was a really, really good one. It's to offer up all of my empty banker boxes, meaning put them on Facebook Marketplace for free and hope somebody just comes and takes them away. These banker boxes are the evidence of all of the hard work I've done over the last, year year, however long it's been, of actively working to list and sell my big old reselling hoard. Those are all the empties. They used to be filled with stuff from my reselling business, and now they're all empty, and I am getting rid of the boxes to clear up space and so I don't ever fill them up again. If you don't know the backstory to this, basically I just over purchased way too much during COVID for my reselling business, and I had a storage unit filled to the brim with stuff, and I have slowly over the year been working to dwindle it down to a manageable amount. Here are all of the boxes, and it was a good amount of boxes. I'm proud of myself. I got through all that, and they were picked up within an hour, by the way. So cross that off the list. That was done, and it was a quick and simple thing. It was wonderful to get all of those out of there and get the floor all clean. So new number, it's number 8. The ocho. That is the listed paper boxes. So that's like a little code for myself. Basically, it means over here in this pile, there are a bunch of different boxes that have a bunch of different stuff in it. And one of the boxes in there has listed paper. So paper or ephemera is something that I sell in my vintage reselling business. And I am transferring it all into plastic totes instead of the banker boxes. Spoiler alert, because of the whole rat thing, I ended up getting rid of all the banker boxes. You'll see that in a future video later on. For the time being, for this list, I wanted to just put the ephemera into a box. So that's what I did. It was very simple and quick. So we crossed that one off the list. And now it's time to draw a new number, which is number 6, numero 6. And that one is the flamingo box. So this one is one of those doom piles or ADHD piles. I forget what people call them. There's like a slang term for that. But basically, this is stuff that needed to go in other parts of the house or came from other parts of the house and needed to come back in here. It's complicated, but that's how my brain was sorting things. It was like, this box is stuff that needs to be put away somewhere. It may or may not be in this room. Most of it was in this room, but then I was putting other stuff on top that goes in other parts of the house. There's no explaining it. Okay, basically I needed to just sort through this box. There was a lot of old kids artwork drawings in there. There was some stuff that I meant to resell. There was some stickers, there were rubber bands, there was office supplies, there were picture hanging, command strips. It was a hodgepodge of stuff. But basically a lot of it went into the drawers, which is why I sorted it right here in this area. And a lot of it got thrown away. And then there was some kids stuff that I just needed to file away into the kid artwork area where I keep their mementos. That was that was a lot. I hate those types of boxes, but it was actually pretty quick to sort through it. So we can cross that one off of the list. We are really getting down to not very many numbers. This one's number 1. What is lucky number 1? Clear off the middle desk. That's a big one because this desk was a mess, if you remember. Oh, look at those beautiful plants. Yeah, this is an old video, you know. Those plants are long dead. I hate to say it, but they did not survive during the rat fiasco. So this center desk is where I take the pictures for my online listings. It's where I do my live sales. It gets junky quick, basically. It's also where I usually do my shipping. If it's clean, if it's got a ton of stuff on it, I just sort of pack my things wherever I can find a free corner. But ideally, I want this to be cleaned off all of the time. If I would just clean up my mess as I go, but you know how cleaning as you go goes. But I couldn't even tell you what all of this stuff is or where I ended up putting it all. But basically, I guess a lot of it probably went into the drawers. I found a home for all of it, or I got rid of all of it. This particular decluttering sesh ended up being more of like organize with me or put stuff away with me. I didn't get rid of a whole heck of a lot of stuff. It was more like shuffling stuff around. I mean, I threw away the old shipping supplies. I got rid of all of the old cardboard boxes that were under the table, and I got rid of all the old banker boxes. So there was a lot of stuff in here to get rid of, to like physically move out of the house. But as far as like the little knick-knack things, things and my reselling stuff, that just kind of got organized better. There wasn't a whole lot that I was ready to get rid of in this moment. And I wasn't really focused on that. It was kind of just, let's clean up this place. Because that's really what needed to happen. And you have to remember, I'm in those first 2 weeks of the whole rat frenzy. So I'm just feeling panicked, kind of internally panicked. As I'm cleaning, as time goes on, it's getting progressively worse in the rest of the house, in the kitchen and stuff. So I feel like kind of a fire lit under my butt, and I'm trying to just get stuff put away. I just don't want anything out. That was the thing. I want to be able to clean all of the surfaces. I want to be able to disinfect everything. I want to be able to see all the edges of every room. I just don't want piles of stuff anywhere. In future videos, I will show you what happened after the rats, but for now we're gonna just stick to this room, and things are about to get really not good. As far as the rat thing goes, things are about to take a really bad turn. Also, I don't think I mentioned in the beginning of the video when I quote cheated at the beginning, I also went through there and I pulled out the numbers that represented listing the boxes of items on eBay. I knew that just wasn't going to happen during this decluttering session now that the whole rat thing was started. So what I ended up doing was taking all of the boxes of items that I needed to list on eBay, and I consolidated them into a large plastic tote and ended up putting that into the storage unit, where I ended up putting all of my vintage reselling business, but we will get to that later. Again, that's foreshadowing, but I knew that because I had this kind of frenzy to just clean up, I wasn't going to get to that. I wasn't going to take the time to take photos and make listings. My business was actually just kind of on hold at this point until I cleaned up and we figured out what was going on with this rat situation. So we're crossing this off the list. This made an absolute world of difference. It is so calm and peaceful having a clear desk in the middle of the room. And we were down to one single number left in the fishbowl. And I will tell you, this was my last night of peace. Having this clean desk, this was the very last peaceful moment I had. At least I had the one evening of peace sitting in this pretty clean office, because the next morning is when shit really hit the fan. I'm going to preface this by saying I was not in a good place. Please watch with a open heart, and I'm in a much better place now. It ended up being okay in the end, but it was very much not okay at this point. So you may know we've been dealing with rats in the kitchen, in there. But this morning we woke up and found 2 holes eaten into our stairs. And that right there is the kids' room. So 1 foot away from where my children sleep at night. Yeah. So everything is coming to a stop as far as Fishbowl, cleaning the office, decluttering. We are packing up all of the loose stuff in our house. We got a storage unit. We're moving all of our stuff into a storage unit, and we're going to go live at my aunt's house until this is taken care of. I don't want rats crawling all over my stuff. I don't want rats nesting in my stuff. Blake doesn't want rats chewing on his records. This is, oh, they got a hole right there too. Look at that. Right into my kids' wall. Right into my kids' wall. So yeah, we're getting the fuck out of here. Sorry, the fishbowl did not go the way we expected, but life has really thrown us a whammy, a major curveball. I'm not okay. We will be okay. I was panicking a lot this morning when I woke up, but we will be okay because we're getting out of here. Whatever's going to happen from this point on is going to happen, but thankfully I have my aunt. I don't want to wear out our welcome there. I don't want to be there forever. But thankfully we have a place to stay for now, and we will figure it out. I don't know if we will be coming back here, which is sad. I warned the kids. I told them, I'm really sorry about this inconvenience. I'm sorry that we can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. We don't know yet, but I just wanted to warn them there is a chance we won't be coming back here. There's a chance we'll be finding a new place to live. There's a chance we'll be staying with my aunt for a long time with most of our stuff in storage. But I told them whatever happens, they will always have all of their stuff. They will always be safe. And that's the most important thing, is I'm going to be keeping them safe. And so they understood. Bo got a little upset. Brody cried. Because to them, this is the only home they've ever known. They don't remember the other apartments we've lived in. This is the one we've been in for 5 years. And as bad as it is, as much as I complain about the disgusting kitchen cabinets and the bathrooms and just how bad it is, it was still our home. I didn't want to move. I wanted it to be better. I wanted to renovate. I wanted to do renter-friendly DIY renovations and make this place better. But now I don't know what's happening. But leaving here was never something I wanted to do. We love the neighborhood. They have friends on the street that they play with. It's close to their school. And before anybody says, move to a different state, move to a different city, go find someplace cheaper to live, I will always push back against that, because this is our home. Huntington Beach is where I have lived my entire life. I don't want to move, and I will never, due to my own life experiences, I will never move them from their school and make them lose all of their friends. I know people push back against that all the time and say, I moved all the time as a kid, I was fine, and stuff like that. Well, I wasn't fine when I switched schools. I was not fine. And I just would never do that to my kids. We can't provide them the stability of owning a home, but I feel like I could at least provide them the stability of keeping their same friends, staying in the same school, having the same coaches and sports teams and friends on teams. And I am not willing to sacrifice that. We will figure something else out, even if we have to live in a smaller apartment, keep stuff in storage, bunk up with family. Like, we have options, thankfully, and we will figure it out. But right now, we're getting the hell out of here. So I guess, as much as I was trying to not make this channel all about rat content, it's forcing me to. So sadly, this is how this video is ending. I will keep you posted. I'm gonna cry again, because I appreciate you guys so much. The support you've given me. Like I said, at first this was funny when we thought it was just one and Blake was running down the street with a rat and it's some kitchen tongs. That was a funny story, but it is definitely not funny anymore. And I never thought I would fucking cry on a YouTube video, but I appreciate you guys so much for just being there for me, telling me your own terrible rat stories. It's just the support that I've gotten from all of you is like truly everything. It really is. And like, you're all just my best friends and I love you. That's all the crying I'm going to do on camera. That's all the crying I'm going to do on camera. I can go into action mode. Okay. I'm really good at tasks and getting shit done when I'm in like this manic, crazy state. So we're going to go into action mode. It's time to start packing. I don't know if I'll film any of that because it's urgent and we just need to GTFO. So, to be continued. Life goes on and it will be okay. It will be okay. If there is a gap in content though, I apologize. I hope you understand. But, who knows when I'm going to be editing videos. Like, that's not top priority at this exact moment. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for your support. I super appreciate it. I just appreciate you. Hi,
editing Jamie here. I don't usually do this kind of thing and post extra stuff at the end of a video, but I just felt too bad to leave it at that ending. It was very hard to edit this video. It took me a long time. The whole rat thing took place from like mid-April to the beginning of June, second week of June, something like that, third week of June, when we finally moved back home. And now it's August. So it's taken a while to process everything and to be able to edit this video, but everything's okay now. I debated even leaving that footage in or just taking it out, or I don't know, like just not addressing it at all. But, you know, I wanted to at least explain why it's taken me so long to come back. And I'm sure you understand. I'm sure it's all fine. But just thank you for your patience. And I will talk more details in the next video. I did film a little bit of packing things up. And, you know, I have the footage. I might as well make a video out of it and talk a little bit more about just what a pain in the ass the whole thing was. But we are back home. That last bit of footage when I found the holes in the stairs, at that point, I really thought we were going to be moving. I just thought there was no way, no how we were ever going to be able to come back here. I didn't think it would ever feel good to be here anymore. And it's okay being back. I'm sure there's no more rats. The repairs they did were mediocre, but there's still that like trauma. You know, I'm never going to feel comfortable again. I'm always going to think there's rats on the roof chewing holes in and trying to come back in. But I also think that would happen anywhere we lived. So it's not going to make a difference whether we're still living here or if we found some other place to move to. And staying here is just better all around. We love our street. We love our neighbors. We love the neighborhood. I don't want the kids to change schools. You know, it's just, we really wanted to stay here. It's affordable, sort of, compared to what else is out there. When we were looking for other options in the area to just move in our same neighborhood, to get an equivalent number of bedrooms, not even as big of a place, but like a smaller place, but with 3 bedrooms, we were going to be paying another extra $1,000 a month if we moved. We just can't afford that. It's a lot of money. We're already paying a lot of money. So staying here was the best option. It all worked out in the end. It was just a really, really big ordeal. I will talk more about that in the next video, I think, if that's the next one that's coming up. But for now, I just wanted to leave it on a more happy, positive note because that last video was a bummer. And that was hard for me to watch, and it's hard for me to expose myself like that. So please just be kind in the comments. I cried kind of in a video once before, and people, not everyone, but there were a couple mean comments about like, how could you cry over something so stupid, you know? And this was a big deal. Maybe some people out there think living with rats is not a problem. It's not a big deal at all. For me, it was very traumatizing and it was hard. There was a lot of work. We had to basically pack up like we were moving, and it was overwhelming. And that was my initial state of complete overwhelm. So just be kind, be kind, be kind. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.